In today's video, I wanted to talk about some nutrition tips for sustainable fat loss. I thought this was a really great way to end your 4-week workout program because these are some tips that you can take with you and use throughout your entire life. They are not necessarily just for fat loss. These are some amazing kind of core nutritional habits. I get so many questions about nutrition and I totally understand the confusion. There is so much information out there. You open up Instagram, you open up Facebook, and right away you don't know if you should be doing keto or going vegan or going paleo, including legumes or dairy or cutting out, and I totally get it. It's overwhelming. These are some core nutritional habits that I really think go, hand in hand with your health year round. So the number one tip for nutrition for sustainable fat loss is taking in adequate protein. I generally recommend 0.75 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And the protein, can come from different sources depending on what you follow. If you're vegetarian, I typically recommend clients going for eggs or, grass-fed meat, organic meats, organic, really good quality protein powder. Beef jerky, that's a great option on the go. There are so many ways to get in protein, not to mention certain vegetables and grains are super high in protein, such as quinoa and broccoli, obviously beans. So number one tip is just make sure every time you're eating, think about the protein source and where your protein is coming from. This is gonna help satiate you and help continue to build lean muscle. The more efficient your body is at burning fat, the more muscle you're gonna be able to carry, and it will just make you feel good, help with muscle recovery. Number two is take in enough healthy fats. It is a myth that eating fat will make you fat. Absolutely not. Sure, it does have more calories per gram than, say, protein or carbohydrates, 9 calories per gram. So, just watch your intake and make sure you're using proper measurements. But here, I love to use satiating oils such as coconut oil, sesame oil, olive oil, of course, nuts, seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, cashews, tahini, which is ground ground sesame seeds. So think about your healthy fats, avocados, of course, that just came to me. So think about where your healthy fats are coming from and make sure to include them in your meals. Do not stay away from yolks. Yolks are so nourishing for you. And actually most of the nutrients in an egg actually comes from the yolk. The more yellow, the better. So definitely make sure you're taking in enough healthy fats. Number 3 is I want you to think about eating most of your meals rather than drinking them. And I don't want you to get confused. So I love a good protein shake. I always make a solid protein shake a few times a week in my own kitchen. I use a really high quality protein powder, some frozen fruit, spinach, some cinnamon, hemp seeds, you name it. I make a ton of amazing protein shakes. What I mean by this is, all those kind of trendy drinks like bulletproof coffee, which is essentially butter or coconut oil in your coffee. These things that could be seen as meal replacements that do sound trendy and actually may work for you in the short term, but I want you to think about if you can see yourself drinking butter coffee when you're 80 years old. If the answer is I don't know or no, it's probably not sustainable. Now, I do love including liquids like bone broth, tea, coffee. Of course, these liquids, you should be including in your diet, but in addition to your meals. So what I really mean here is just to make sure you're eating real whole meals rather than drinking them. All right. Next up is vegetables. I want you to think about eating vegetables at most, if not all, of your meals. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't have to eat vegetables in order to see, fat loss or weight loss. Some people don't eat any vegetables and they see fat loss or weight loss, but it helps tremendously. Tenfold it helps. It helps with fiber intake, keeping you satiated and full. And also there are so many nutrients in vegetables. There are so many types of vegetables. So if you don't like broccoli, you don't have to eat broccoli. I would recommend getting a handful of leafy greens such as baby spinach, baby kale, Swiss chard. Go to your grocery store and pick a few different ones each week and try to incorporate them in your meals. There are so many ways to incorporate vegetables and they will help you feel satiated so much longer than if you didn't have them. All right, number 5 is I want you to think about eating whole, unprocessed foods as much as possible. Of course, I don't mean 100% of the time. There are no good and bad foods. I always tell clients that. So if a client comes to me and says, is it bad that I ate XYZ? No. And I don't even like to label food that way. Nothing is good or bad, and you can eat anything you want in moderation. What I mean is 80% of the time, try to eat food in its most natural state, okay? Most natural state. And I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you know what I mean by that. So that's my number 5 tip. Number 6, and this is the last one, and I would say the most important, is try to cut out the noise. Cut out the noise you're getting from your friends, from your family, from the internet. If you find a way of eating that works for you, maybe you're even watching this and you don't like any of the tips I'm sharing, but something works for you, that's totally fine. Cut out the noise. Try to follow one kind of way of eating. Don't try to do 5 things all at once, because your body loves consistency. And this is when it's gonna thrive in the most, tremendous form. So try not to listen to everyone. Try not to cut out entire food groups, and just really listen to your body. But most importantly, cut out the noise. Just because your friend's doing keto, your other friend is doing Atkins, and a celebrity you saw is doing vegan, doesn't mean that you have to do it. Your body actually might fight against it, okay? So just listen to your body. I hope you enjoyed this video and really, really took something out of it. And I will catch you guys next time.